So I think in the absence of the chair, that was the conversation with Kate, just to be transparent. I'm the vice chair of the Open Space and Recreation Committee. I'm gonna call the meeting to order and open the floor. We have with us a quorum, myself, Ann Weeks, Tom Skinner, Tom Starr, and I think a new member, Bianca Hansen. Is that true? Bianca, introduce yourself. Lovely to see you. I don't know if you have the
No,
ability
great to
to
see you
turn
all.
your camera on so
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
we can. We can't
Um,
see you though.
sorry, I had it on my calendar for 6, and I'm actually just picking my kids up, so I am
Yes,
not on my car
understood,
and not at
understood,
my computer.
understood. And we all have a hard stop at 6 because Kate needs to go to the select board and we would like to make sure that she can get there on time. So that's why I'm opening it and not waiting any longer for Ernest. We have a kind of a busy agenda for an hour-long meeting, so I just will note that the minutes are being taken and that this is being recorded, and that the notes will be available after the meeting. We have minutes that we review and approve. So I am going to now put myself on mute and turn it over to Kate Mallory, who's our staff person, to do a little presentation, and then we're going to have a conversation about Pingree Park. Thanks.
Great. And I also want to say that with me in my office is Lou Randazzo. He is also a member of the Open Space and Recreation Committee. Couldn't get my camera to work very well. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention Lou. Sorry.
no, he's hiding over here in the corner. Thank you all for joining us today. So Ernest wanted me to put together, and we've been doing this kind of throughout the years, a collection of the recreational facilities that we currently have in town. And so I worked with Sean Timmons a bit. It's been finalized since the new high school recreation facilities are now updated. So we can kind of see that right now in town, we've got 20 pickleball courts. That does not.
Kate,
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt you, but I don't know about other people, but for me, it's not very possible to see this presentation. It's very tiny. I'm changing my view so that I can see it a little bit better, but it's still very small. So I don't know if there's some way you can pop it out or just get rid of the
Can you see it better now?
gallery altogether. Or yes, it's better now. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure that people can actually follow what you're talking about.
Great, sounds perfect. All right, so right now between Hamilton and Wenham, we have 20 pickleball courts, and this does not include Pingree. I do want to preface this with, if you look here, West Wenham Park, there's 4 pickleball courts. They cannot be used by our rec department for any sort of recreational services because organized sports cannot be used. At West Wenham Park, there is a restriction on organized sports. So we have Patton Park has 4, the high school now has 8, and we have WVIS has 4 courts. And then I'll quickly go through. We've got 11 baseball and softball fields, 11 soccer multi-use fields. We've got 1 track fields now. We've got that pump track at West Wenham Park that we all know about and love. We've got 2 picnic areas, so one at Patton Park and one at West Wenham Park. We've got that great outdoor pool. We've got now a fitness area at West Wenham Park and a walking pathway over there. We've got 5 playgrounds. And we've got 3 basketball courts in town and 15 tennis courts. So Ernest and I thought it was important when we start this conversation to get kind of an overview of already what we have in town. So if you remember, we did in late 2024, we did a quick survey. It was not an in-depth survey. We got 40 people that responded, and we had asked really 3 options. We had 3 options at the time. This was really when we were starting all of this. But option 1 was just kind of renovate the courts for tennis and pickleball. Half the people preferred or strongly preferred that. Option 2 was do a mix of tennis and pickleball only, and then another small recreation area. And that's kind of where we had been sinking our teeth into that small recreation area. We have been talking a lot the past year about a skate park that was preferred or strongly preferred by half of the group. And option 3 of doing a whole new activity, most people did not like that idea. During that survey, we had residents that had some other ideas. So we left a space where people could write in what they wanted. And so you can see here that there was a whole wide variety of, renovate the tennis courts, like I just said, adding pickleball courts, a skate park, safe biking and scooter area was another one, a small track for younger kids, bocce, shuffleboard, horseshoes. Some people said add lights. Some people said don't add lights. Some people said make sure you do noise abatement panels, court renovation, playground safety improvements, preserve gardens, beautification. So we got a lot of great ideas out of that survey. Since then, and I know this group, oh, here's Ernest, right here.
Hey, Ernest, it's Anne. I've opened the meeting and Kate has begun her presentation.
Okay, Ernest, just jump in if you want to jump in at any point. Okay, I'll just continue. So since that survey, we have received more recent public input, which has been absolutely wonderful. So there have been abutters that have raised concerns, not just about noise, but traffic, safety, setbacks has been another one that's come, and property boundaries has been another one that's come to our attention. Making sure that we're really looking at liability for the town, maintenance, and enforceability. So those are, all of you in the Open Space and Rec Committee have received all of the letters in a packet of every opinion that has come in. And this is kind of like an overview for everybody for this meeting. So as we know, some residents really favor restoring the tennis and having the skate park. Some definitely do not want that. Again, a lot of other recreational opportunities like soccer, futsal, which I'd never heard about before. And I guess it's a smaller version of soccer. There's less players and it's a smaller area. Street hockey, basketball, small training pitches, and a pavilion. So those are kind of more things we heard. And like I said, there was an abutter where there are some property line concerns that we will absolutely be looking into. The closest abutters to Pingree is the Boulders. And so the Boulders Condo Association has been recently very involved, which we're thankful for. And they have taken the position recently that, oh, can everybody mute, please? So we don't get the, they've taken the position that they would not like to see pickleball or a skate park or similar noise-making recreational opportunities there. And like I did say, they are the closest abutters to the court area, within 100 feet. So I just wanted to put together a process for next steps, and let's see if the Open Space and Recreation Committee would like to go with this. So basically, I think we should do a new survey, and I started a new survey that's more in depth and can give us more data to work on going forward. Ernest and I have talked a lot about we'd like to hold a community event in September before narrowing the list down. And then we can come back in October and present the survey results. We can talk about any additional resident letters that have come up and go through basic site restraints in October. The thing we have to think of here as Open Space and Rec members is that the process for CPA funding is changing this year. And so they're having a pre-application, and that is due October 15th. So we do not now have a lot of time if we want to go in for funding for anything. this year. We only have probably 2 meetings and a community event left. Final applications are due December 3rd. So we can do the pre-application and then change it a little bit, but everything needs to be final by December 3rd. So I'll keep that in mind.
So my hand is up. My question was going to be on timing. If you're doing another survey, what were you thinking the timing of the survey would be? I mean, I think a lot of people are away in August, so
Yeah,
I'm concerned about that.
I was hoping, have almost a final draft of the survey ready to go. I was thinking to post it tomorrow. So if we can get it done tonight, we'd post it tomorrow. I would send it out to the Hamilton Wenham recreation list. They have over 700 people in their database. We would throw it out on all of our social medias. We'd get it out on the light board. We'd get it in the COA newsletter. We'd get it on our website. We'd get it out to all boards and committees and any other email lists that we can think of. So really do a heavy push from tomorrow until this September event. And then at the September event, I'd like to set up either a working space or, some paper copies of the survey so people can do a survey there. So we'll give ample opportunity for the next month for surveys to come in, and we'll push that out for the next month.
Okay, great. The way you were presenting it, it sounded like the survey would be wrapped up and ready to present on that at that meeting, and it doesn't sound like that's in fact the plan. So I think that's good because I think a lot of folks won't even pay attention, honestly, if they're away until they're back for school, and it's like, all right, we're back in town, we're doing our thing. So I'm glad that that's what your plan is. Thank you.
So really that's all I had with my slides, and then I can stop the share, and then Ernest, when you're ready, maybe we can go over the survey that I already put together and go from there.
That would be fine, Kate, and thank you. My apologies for being a little late, and man, it take a long time for your computer boot up when you really don't want it. This is retirement is set in, and I can't remember what day it is.
No problem, Ernest.
And also, I appreciate the amount of interest in the committee's meeting this evening and the participation from all of you coming to hear our process and also to provide the comments that you have made already by the submittals that we have circulated.
Absolutely. So Ernest, do you want to go through the survey and we can just button that up and then we can move on from there, or how do you want to move forward?
Go ahead and proceed through. This is the draft.
This is the draft, and please feel free, any open space and rec members, to jump in at any time. You don't have to raise your hand function. We can probably get through this faster that way, just because we have limited time today. So basically, I just started with an overview. So the Wenham Open Space and Recreation Committee is seeking community input regarding the future of the existing tennis court area at Pingree Park. The town conducted an initial community survey in late 2024. Approximately 40 people participated. That survey considered renovating these existing courts for tennis and pickleball, creating a mix of courts and smaller recreational uses, or replacing the courts with a different recreational use. Since then, the committee has received additional ideas and comments from residents and nearby abutters. Before narrowing the options, we'd like to hear from the broader community. So that will be the beginning overview that people will see. I just wanted to make sure that people know that no final decisions have been made. I think that's a very important point. The survey is intended to help identify community priorities and the options that warrant further evaluation. And so it's the beginning. Where do you live? I want to make sure that people have the opportunity to put in what community they're from. So if they're not from Hamilton or Wenham, where they're from. How often do you use the park? These are natural things that happen in these kind of planning surveys. Before we kind of did a more broad range of who's using the park, I think we should get more granular to see who's actually using this park and what ages. The first question is pretty great. What general approach would you prefer? So do we want to retain the existing courts? Do we want to do a different recreational opportunity but retain the courts? Do we want to replace it with some sort of other opportunity? Revamp the existing use? I need more information or no preference?
Kate, do you want to say
Yes.
keep the when you say courts, it's very generic. It could be tennis, it could be pickleball.
Okay.
Do you want to say tennis courts?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because one of the things that, we have a lot of pickleball courts, as you point out, but it may be that tennis courts is the answer here. And I think right now, all we have there are tennis courts. So
Great idea. So I'll tweak that a little bit. Which recreational uses would you like the town to consider? And so the little blurb underneath will say, select all of the uses you believe should remain under consideration. Selecting an option does not necessarily mean it will be your preferred choice. So what I did here was said every single one of the options that we've been given by residents are in this list, I think. So if I'm missing anything, please remind me and I'll add it in. And I'll have boxes where these dots are. And then people can just click off, do we want tennis courts? Do we want shared tennis courts and pickle courts? Do we want dedicated pickle courts? Do we want,
Oh, you froze there, Kate.
where did I freeze? Did you hear me say like this would be like check boxes? Can you hear me?
Kate, I can hear you. I don't know who was speaking, but it might be just on their machine.
Okay. You know what? It might be Ernest because he's not moving. Okay, so we'll have the boxes that you can check off, and certainly someone could check off every single box, but it's a great analytical tool to see when SurveyMonkey comes back together, it'll be able to see, from top to bottom, what are the most preferred methods here. I think we just lost Ernest, Anne, just so you know. Oh, he's back.
Yes, I'm texting him.
And then I'm going to have a space open for other ideas as well. So again, we're not limiting ideas here yet. And to the residents of the Boulders, which I know most of you are here, we do have your idea of that senior playground adult outdoor fitness equipment in there.
Mhm.
Which 3 recreational uses would you most like the town to explore? So of those options above, I'll have the person that's taking the survey list their top 3 options. How important are the following factors when evaluating the future of the Pingree Park court area? So we all know the very important, blah, blah, blah. So recreational benefit to the broader community. So they'll say, is that important? Yeah, somewhat, very, you know how it goes. Impact on nearby residential properties. Noise. Opportunities for children. Opportunities for teens. Opportunities for adults. Opportunities for older adults. Ability to serve multiple age groups, safety, accessibility, construction cost, long-term maintenance cost, parking and traffic, trees and environmental impacts, property boundaries, zonings, and setbacks. So while going through all of these letters, I believe I captured all concerns from people and put it in here. And now we're asking the community how you feel about each one of those things.
So will there be an ability to rank each one of those? Because you said there's going to be multiple check boxes. Obviously, you're going to have to create this in the survey format.
Yes. So this won't have the check boxes. The one that will have the check boxes will be the one that has all of the opportunities. Like, you want horseshoes? Yes or no? And so you can check, yes, I want horseshoes. Do you want shuffleboard? I don't want it, so I don't check it. So that will be the check boxes. And then down here, question 7 will be not a checkbox. It will be on the left-hand side. It will say, is this very important to you? Is it somewhat, on the top, it will say very important, important, somewhat important, not very important, and not important. And it will list all of these things. So this person will be able to say, okay, noise. Noise is very important, and they would check the very important box.
Right.
Some recreational activities may generate more noise than others. Which statement best reflects your view? So let's listen to this one carefully, and we can change the wording if we need to. Number 1, higher noise recreational uses should not be considered because homes are located close to a park. Number 2, higher noise uses could be considered if professional analysis shows that impacts can be reasonably mitigated. Number 3, higher noise uses could be considered with measures such as operating hours, acoustic treatments, design changes, or other mitigation. And I put that one in because a lot of the studies say, especially with the skate park, if you don't use something like the metal areas where the kids slide on it, they're not as loud. So there are different ways to design things where the noise is mitigated. 4, some additional recreational noise is reasonable at a public park. And 5, I need more information before forming an opinion. Does anyone from the Open Space and Rec Committee have anything to add here?
I see 2 and 3 to be a little bit similar.
Yeah.
Was that Tom, Scott?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind them being similar, but they're also different. That, in other words, like you specifically say acoustic treatments in the third one, but not the second one. And that would seem to be the key thing when you're dealing with higher noise, right? So maybe
Yeah, so
maybe you should use the same term in both, or collapse it into one thing. I don't know.
Yeah, what I was trying to do is say, all right, because the people in the Boulders Condo Association had asked for a similar report to Weston and Sampson's report regarding noise.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I was trying to say with the second one is higher noise might be okay if, a professional report comes back with an analysis that shows it's in with reasonable ranges. And the other one is more tangible,
Right.
like we're going to put up panels, or there'll be other design things that would change. That was my distinction, but we could word it differently so it could be put together.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
I see what you're getting at. I think it might be confusing to the community people who are looking at this, though, because it is a question, though. So, okay, what is reasonably mitigated, if not the things that you're calling out in the next bullet? So maybe you could say can be reasonably mitigated. For example, with measures such as blah, blah, blah. And then you don't need 2 bullets. Right. And then you just pick up this clause such as, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Does that work for you, Tom?
I think so. Let me read it carefully. I think, for example, should come after measures, or just moved somewhere. I'm not sure if that's the right place.
Yeah, because I guess the point is you're not necessarily going to do them all. You might choose 1 or 2. It's not mitigated with.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think, for example, in such as, or
Mm-hmm.
possibly including, maybe just replace all those 4 words with possibly including, or
Mm-hmm.
potentially such as, or something.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the same thing.
That's a little better. Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
I think that's good.
I'm relatively new, so I apologize if this is a repeat question from before, but I just have a question in general. When it comes to this type of a survey where you said you've run it before, have we done any sort of like looked into any sort of studies that actually show the correlation of sound that comes from certain activities, so that if anybody was to come back and rebuttal it or ask, we have something to like reference to say like, well, you know, based on our research, one does not make more noise than another, or it does. Just something I was thinking about as a neighbor. I could see it being, you know, for somebody, I could see how that would be a matter of concern. So just a general question.
Yeah, so we have not done any studies yet. We do have studies that have been done, especially regarding pickleball. So pickleball
And skate
more
park.
recently has been studied, and in Beverly, they are doing some studies over there with their pickleball courts. The problem is when you can't just take a study that someone else has done and put it right into this area, because topography changes, you know, plants, there are different things that could change where the noise goes, like how things are constructed. And so, in my opinion, we can't go by someone else's study on a different site. You can kind of maybe get a range, but you can't, there's no guarantee that that is enough of a qualifier to make a decision from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great. All right, so next, would you support reasonable operating restrictions if they allowed a recreational use to coexist with nearby residences? Examples could include defined operating hours or other forcible restrictions.
I think that one's just a different way of saying what the previous one said, right? I mean, it's sort of like, you know, and I think the hard thing about this is, like you said, with these studies and everything, it's almost like you need an example for people to, with noise, for people to like, even if every place is different, like a before and after of a specific function like pickleball, you know, what, because it's not going to go from noisy to silent, right? But you know, and it's kind of hard to predict, even just seeing, you know, decibel numbers, you know, what life would be like.
Yeah, I think why I put this one in is because about 2 years ago,
Mhm.
the select board had approved the pickleball use within certain hours. So there was a restriction put on there. So that's why I added this one in separately. But if
Right.
if it's a little repetitive, we could actually just take the whole thing out.
Well, it is a little different. Maybe if it was more specifically said that like operating restrictions, maybe you mean operating hours restriction, you know, or something. I think that that's kind of implied, but I think it might be a little better if it was actually spelled out.
So right here, operating.
Or even limited operating hours, you know, or something.
Kind of in the examples part of it down below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know another restriction that was mentioned years ago was, you know, locking the courts at 7 o'clock, and so there were other restrictions. That's not really an enforceable restriction. We don't have the staff to be
Right.
every single day locking and opening tennis courts, but I was trying to think of another example of other restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I wanted to limit it up here in case someone else thought of like another restriction that could help ease
Mm-hmm.
minds.
Okay.
If it's confusing, we can just take it out. I don't know how important it is.
Yeah, I think the tough thing is it's asking people to support something.
Yeah.
I think that's the tough part. You know, it sounds like, okay, I agree without really knowing enough. That's the way I feel about it.
Right, or assuming that they'd be enforceable.
Yeah.
So would we consider dropping this one then? I think we could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
done. Perfect. Which potential measures should the town consider if needed to reduce impacts on nearby properties? Select all that apply. So this will be another one of those boxes, and then people can select as many as they want. Defined operating hours, daytime only use. Actually, we
That's
don't
the
let
same.
people there at night. We'll take that one out.
Right.
Acoustic fencing and screens, landscaping or vegetative buffers, facility design or orientation to reduce noise, limits on certain activities, posted rules and enforcement, professional noise/acoustic study, parking or traffic measures, none, or then we'd have a box for other.
Professional noise and acoustic study is very different from actual measures.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so what I was trying to get at is, do people think when it says the study, do people think we should be paying for this as a town? And then the measures would be, okay, so should we be putting up the screens and all that stuff on if the pickleball went through? Should we be putting up the screens that go around the fences?
If we keep that, should we put it at the top of the list?
This one?
No, the study.
Okay. Can do that. Do you want me to put acoustic fencing and screen second to keep it kind of together?
Sure.
Okay. Do that. Okay. Which statement comes closest to your view about how the town should approach the decision? Give greatest consideration to the option with the strongest overall community support, provided significant impacts can be reasonably addressed. Give greater consideration to minimizing impacts on nearby residential properties. Give greater consideration to expanding recreational opportunities for the broader community. Seek a balance between providing recreational opportunities and limiting impacts on nearby properties. Or I need more information before deciding. Comments?
I think that's a pretty good list.
Okay. Would you be interested in attending a community workshop about the future of the Pingree Park Court area? So I just said yes in person, virtually, either format, maybe no. What information would be most useful to you at the community workshop? So possible site layouts, we can get that together. Recreational options, we can get that together. Estimated construction costs, estimated maintenance costs, we can get rough estimates of that. Noise information, examples of similar facilities in other communities, traffic and parking, property boundaries, zoning and setbacks, trees, environmental considerations, recreation demand and anticipated use, potential funding sources, or other.
All of the above, but actually recreational demand and anticipated use might be very hard for our committee to be able to come up with. It would be ideal.
Mhm.
Funding sources, good.
I do think in all of the above, maybe other, you can just write in all of the above.
Mhm.
Other or all there, very good. One thing I was thinking as you were doing this has been a very thorough. I see now I think we're on 6 of 6, so that's good. It's a very long survey. But are we able to also provide the inventory of what we already have? For instance, there are, pickleball courts at the high school, at Patton Park, at West Wenham Park, at the Tea House, other things like that, so that people know, again, how many tennis courts we have and that sort of thing. Do we have that as like almost an information sheet that could go along with the survey?
I would have to look at SurveyMonkey. I've never done that before. What we could do is there is this summary part at the beginning,
We could
And
provide a link.
Yeah, a link would be good.
We could
There we
provide a
go.
link in there that says this is the existing infrastructure of the town. Towns, plural.
Okay. Great idea. Okay. Is there a recreational use or idea for this area that we have not included?
Is
We don't
that
like-
even possible?
Hey, I haven't seen Water Park. I'm surprised there's no splash
I'm just
pad.
wondering if you really want an open-ended question like that.
Right.
I think we already did say, other. We kind of asked that question earlier,
Mhm.
haven't we not?
All right. I'm not going to get my splash pad, I think. Do you have any additional comments, questions, or concerns about the future of Pingree Park Court area? And would you like to receive information about the upcoming Pingree Park Community Workshop in September? And I would put in the date once we figure that out next.
Mhm. Okay.
Good.
So this is going out, this will go out in advance. I see.
This will go out hopefully tomorrow.
And then do you think you would send it out again, like the beginning of September for people
Mhm.
who've been away? Yeah.
Yep, I will do a weekly push.
Yeah, good.
And I do the push at different times. So, it gets to the stay at home mom or dads, and it gets to, the after work, and it gets to people that go on social media midday. And so I try to change it up. Okay. So now we just need to figure out a date.
What are the Saturdays? Kate, did you get information on athletic program schedules and when might be?
Yeah, I only texted Sean Timmons today. Actually, let me see if he answered and I didn't see it. I didn't get an answer from him yet, but does anybody on the call know? I think soccer is the big sport, right? In the spring?
In the fall
In
or
the
the
fall.
spring? I mean,
in the fall?
it's
Yes, thank you, Ben.
Yeah,
big all the time, but yeah.
Does anybody know when they generally, so I know in Amesbury, it's in the afternoon on a Saturday. Does anybody on the call know that?
When I was coaching, it was during the week as well on those fields, but I don't know what they do now.
Let me see really quickly.
I'm wondering about Sundays, as in afternoon, not morning,
Yeah.
but 2, 3 o'clock type of a Sunday, mid-September.
Just looking at their registration page to see if they have anything.
Can you describe a little bit as to what the community event would be? What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll do a tour of the park. And so my idea is that I am going to do a mailing for the abutters that are within 1,000 feet of the park. And so that's about 101 residences. So we'll get that out to the most local community. And basically we'll meet at a designated area. I will have a lot of nice pictures and stuff of things that we can do. We'll have a talk of where we've been so far, kind of like a quick overview. And then we'll really just have a community discussion on what people want in the area.
So, but that could be difficult to do outside. I mean, if you had it on a Saturday, could it then move to a meeting space in the library right across the street where you'd have the discussion there? I mean, I suppose it depends on turnout. If you only get a dozen people, it's not going to be too much of a problem.
Well, also
Right.
weather dependent. So
Yeah.
Okay, so it says for soccer, it is on Saturday. It doesn't say what time here.
That differs based on the age group.
Mhm.
but pretty much would be most of all the afternoons. Except maybe later, something like a 4 o'clock type time where many of the games may be over by then.
Mhm.
Well, you're going to have practices during the week too, so I'm not sure that planning this around the soccer schedule is really going to help you much. Other than Sunday, I think that those fields
Mhm.
are pretty well used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Is the
Would Sunday,
library open Sunday? I do like Tom's idea of going
Yeah,
over to the
the
library.
library is generally closed, so I don't think
No,
on
it'd have to be
Sundays.
Saturday, but then you
Yeah.
wouldn't have, I mean, if you're in the library, you don't have to worry about the soccer fields.
well, we're going to have the event so that people could come tour and could talk about ideas.
Mhm.
But really, the survey is how we get most of our input.
Mm.
I'm just
You
looking at
could
a
also
calendar.
have the meeting in the evening. I'm sorry, Ernest, if you're going to
No
have
worries.
it indoors.
Just looking at a calendar, um, you don't want to be in the first week of September. So Sundays are 13th and 20th. It gets us in the middle of September. And a Saturday is a possibility if we find out that the schedules really allow more people, maybe later in the afternoon.
We don't want to do September 13th. That's Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you.
Okay. The other possibility is, the library, I don't think the library is open as late on Saturday as it is during the week, right? So if you moved it to Monday, you could have a 6 o'clock meetup or something like that. The library's
I
then
believe
open till 8.
the library's only open till 8, Tuesday through Thursday.
Till 8, yeah.
They're only open till 5, I think, Monday, Friday, and then they're open till 4 on Saturdays.
If you want parents to come, I know it's always dicey in the evening, but I
Yeah,
think
that's
there's
true.
also some trade-offs that we're facing here where you're not going to get everybody
Right.
one, you're going to have to pick a time.
And if we do the library, we could have some activities for kids. So we could say, please, you can bring your children, and we could have some activities for kids ready to go.
Yeah, we did that with the charrettes for the master plan, and I think it worked out okay.
I actually think now that I'm thinking about it, because I was pretty convinced a weekend day would be better, but now that I'm thinking about it, people are still enjoying summer in September. They might not want to take their weekend to go to this.
Okay. Kate, I see Barbara has a hand up, and perhaps she's had something to add to this discussion. Barbara, you're on mute.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. Bobby Markowitz from the Boulders, and I did collect the suggestions that were submitted by our residents and made a list of them, and I didn't see all of them on the list. So I would really appreciate it if before you put the survey out for the public, we compared the list that you have with the list that I have so that we can add in those that you might have inadvertently left off.
Mhm. That sounds great. Barbara, could you email me what you have, and I will make sure that it's in there?
I certainly will.
Great, thank you.
Is it possible that the committee could hear the list or what's missing right now?
Okay, it was up for a brief time, so I hope I didn't make any mistakes. Besides the senior playground, was suggested an outdoor calisthenic and fitness station for adults of all ages. So I think that focusing just on seniors might not be somebody's favorite, but
Mhm.
we might want to consider that. There were a few ideas under the heading of community gathering area, and some of them were activity tables for mahjong or card games, and or imprinted tops for board games such as chess or checkers. Um, ping pong tables. Apparently, there's something concrete ping pong tables that are exist in many municipalities, and players could bring their own paddles. I didn't see a dog park, and I haven't really noticed, but I think that the whole Pingree part, you're supposed to keep your dogs on a leash, but I'm not 100% sure of that. And it seems that people don't. So possibly having an enclosed dog park, uh, then you could enforce people having their dogs off leash outside of that and to provide a social environment. I didn't see that on the list. Um,
Barbara, I'll just answer that for you.
Okay.
There is no leash law in Wenham, so dogs are allowed to be off
Oh,
leash in
okay.
Wenham. And when we were working on the West Wenham Park, it had come to our attention that the DPW didn't have the manpower to maintain a dog park. They get pretty messy. So that's why we did not consider a dog park. But
Mhm.
if the Open Space and Rec Committee would like me to put that back in, I'm happy to.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. And then there were some other recreation options. I think we did see bocce ball. Did you have a climbing wall? Um,
Hmm.
or I don't know what a P6 ball is, but I don't know whether I saw that on the list either. But that was all in suggestions that were submitted, I believe, to the committee. Because if I got a hold of them, somebody else had them too.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Great.
I'd be happy to submit this to you. Just I'll find your email address.
Yes, I'll put my email address in the chat. And Ruth, I saw your examples as well, and I will make sure to add those. I have already written them down. Okay, thank you for adding that.
Yep. I do know that there's bocce at the Council of Aging facility over on School Street, or by the what is it, Bucher School. Okay. And Kate, so how are we doing on a date? Are we, if we come to some understanding on whether it's going to be on a Saturday or Sunday or on a weeknight?
I believe Bianca had said that the library is only open till 8 Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So if we wanted to do a midweek event, I think that would be probably the best, but I'm open to
Okay.
anything the group wants to do.
And by the library, we mean in the gathering space through the library, and is that only available when the library is open?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Thanks, Tom.
And maybe we should do 2 dates if we are going to do the library, just to make sure that it's not already booked for something else.
Right. Yeah.
And I still think we should start at the park, do a little tour, and then we can all just walk over to the library.
I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
All right, so in September, I don't want to do a Tuesday when the select board is on,
Mhm.
and I don't know the dates for their meeting that month yet because there's an extra week in September, so sometimes things change. Ben, you don't know yet, right? If you're there.
As far as I'm sorry, as far as our September dates,
Yes,
I do. Let me just take a look.
thank you.
And then we're um well, actually, I have on my calendar that it's tentative what the September dates are, so afraid I don't have
Right.
that.
We might want to just consider Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesday, September 23rd, I cannot do for meetings. So we
What
could
about
do
earlier, 6, 16, 17?
16th or 17th, both work for me. So Wednesday and a Thursday, and I could probably also say the 24th works for me.
Mm-hmm. Right around that time frame where people
Yeah,
are
I
back.
think that works for me because the planning board, I think, will be the 9th and not the 16th. So
Yeah, I'm looking at your calendar too, Ian. And we will have one more meeting, which is great, so we can finalize the community event. So we'll have one more meeting and I'll bring my ideas and then we can tweak it to make it a great event for all.
Okay.
So I will bring those 3 dates to the library director, Kim, and see what works, and I will send out the information. I'll get that survey out tomorrow. And then if anybody's on the call, the survey will be on the and wants anybody that's on the call that wants to do the survey will be on our main webpage under the news items. So you'll have a link and you'll be able to click right onto it and do the survey yourself.
thank you, Kate. And I'm gonna drop now. I'm sorry to have to leave early, but just life has interfered.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Thank you, Ann.
I appreciate everyone's attendance and
Thank you, Ann.
think this will be good. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Kate.
Ben, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Ernest. So the select board meetings in September are actually going to be on the Tuesday, the 8th, and Tuesday, the 22nd. So if Tuesday, the 15th, or Tuesday, the 29th were dates that you wanted to add to the mix, those are not select board dates.
Okay, and I can do the 15th and the 29th as well. So if that works for everybody else, it's best to give Kim more dates.
Yeah.
What time do we want to start this at? And thank you, Ben.
And 15 doesn't work for me, Kate.
The 15th doesn't work? All right, we won't do that date. So I've got the 16th, the 17th, the 24th, the 29th. I'll get that information out to everybody tomorrow. And do we want to start this at a 6 o'clock time frame, or what do you think?
That sounds fine.
In
I think anything-
September, it's going to be getting dark at 6 o'clock. I think sunset is earlier than 6 and that late in September.
Okay.
That early in September.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Let me,
Let's go for 5:30.
okay.
5's gonna be too early for a lot of people, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I would, speaking somewhat for myself, but I think 5 is really difficult for most of the people I know who commute in, especially from the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it says on September 16, 2026, the sun will set in Wenham at approximately 7:04 p.m. So
Okay.
I think a 5:30
okay.
will be fine.
Oh, 4.
Okay. All right, I've got my marching orders and
And as with Ann not on the call any longer, I think that we will postpone the meeting minutes
okay,
review and approval till next meeting.
great.
Is there time for a few comments from the public?
I have 1 minute.
And well, yeah, I do have a hard stop. I postponed the Water Commission meeting till 6:30, so I can stay for a little while, but please go ahead.
Well, thank you. So David Miller representing the Boulders, and I sent around a package which I believe you all got, and I hope you take a close look at it and understand what our position is on several different things. But I'd like to make a statement so no one is unclear as to where the Boulders stand. The Boulder residents oppose and will oppose pickleball, a skate park.
I believe that we have a good understanding of the Boulder's position. I
Okay.
mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, we have reviewed and circulated the earlier correspondence from Bob Frichella as well as the slide deck that you provided.
All right. Well, thank you. The other thing I wanted to comment on was we had hoped that pickleball would not be included, as well as skate park, in the survey. And the reason we say that is because ultimately, if it comes out as favorable in the survey, you will have to do a consulting study on the noise. And that activity, pickleball in particular, will fail a consulting study. And so rather than get everyone fired up about the possibility of pickleball at Pingree Park, it would make sense to do that study in advance of the survey. And in the case of the Wellesley study, which Weston and Sampson did, that was paid for by CPA funds. This is the kind of thing CPA wants to know about before they put money in for construction. That is, what is the approval process, or the sentiment or the reality of this activity. And as I said, pickleball, 100 foot from people's residences, will not pass any sort of consulting study. And secondarily, there actually is a noise ordinance within Wenham, and that says that noise cannot exceed 70 decibels 100 foot from a property. And or I think it's 10 decibels less than ambient. So it won't pass that either, because as the Weston and Sampson study shows, pickleball is 70 to 100 decibels at 100 feet. So those things will make it a non-starter in terms of a location at Pingree Park. And so rather than put it out there in front of people as if it was an actual possibility, it's not an actual possibility. And so I think it's a misrepresentation of the situation.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have a motion to
Okay.
adjourn, Ernest? I'm sorry, I have to go.
You do? Okay. Then I'll make the motion to adjourn, and Tom
Second.
and Tom.
Yeah, Tom Skinner.
And Lou's here too.
Lou says yes.
Oh, okay, thank you, Lou.
Mhm.
And Tom Starr.
Yes, if you didn't hear, I raised my hand. Yes.
All right, very good.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate everyone's interest in this program. And Kate, I especially appreciate the amount of work that you've done to be able to prepare, for a meeting and for a survey. So I think you see the process is moving along. It's had some fits and starts, but I think we're going to make a good effort to bring something to the community that will be acceptable to all the people in the area. So again, I appreciate everybody's interest in the committee's meeting, and I think we'll go ahead and close for the day.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.